Indiana Jones is back one last time to look for a treasure that his father has been trying to track down his entire life. Indiana Jones didn't really need much of a backstory. I didn't really need to know why he uses a whip or dresses the way that he does, or why he was afraid of snakes, or how he got the scar on his chin that I never even noticed in the first two movies. In The Last Crusade, we get that story right at the start. In 1912, we see a young Indiana Jones, played by teen heartthrob River Phoenix, go on his very first adventure. I kind of wish there was more continuity with characters throughout the Indiana Jones series. It was a bold move not to include Short Round this time around after he won over everyone's hearts in Temple of Doom. And for the third time in as many movies, there is a new love interest. Now, rumor is that Spielberg always wanted to make a James Bond film, but he never got the chance. Indiana Jones was his answer to that, and that probably explains the different love interest in every movie. Now, even though he never got to make a James Bond film, he did get to work with the original James Bond, Sean Connery, who portrays Henry Jones Sr., Indiana's father. And in my opinion, the Indiana Jones trilogy, all three movies are better than most, if not all, of the 25+ James Bond films. Anyway, back to Indy's love interest. Now, for the first time, he has an intellectual equal, an archaeologist with a PhD who loves looking for treasure just as much as he does. Now, her name is Elsa, and of course, because I'm a dad, I made a stupid dad joke about the movie Frozen. And then about 30 seconds later, coincidentally, Sean Connery's character yells to Indy, "Let it go!" So I guess The Last Crusade inspired one of the all-time biggest Disney songs. Who knew? Elsa is portrayed by Alison Doody, who I assume is close friends with Imogene Poots and Florence Pugh. Sorry, I had to. Well, The Last Crusade, it's got a lot of humor in it. In fact, I think it's got more humor in it than the first two films combined. Now, some of it is subtle, and some of it is nearing slapstick territory. I laughed a lot more than I expected to. Now, the humor comes more from the editing and the perfect comic timing of the actors, and as I've said before, I find this humor holds up better over time than actual written lines of dialogue. Now, there's a scene involving a secret doorway, a fireplace, a big fire, and a room full of Nazis that almost felt like an Abbott and Costello bit, or maybe something out of a Marx Brothers or a Mel Brooks film. It was hilarious, but also thrilling. Sean Connery and Harrison Ford make a heck of a team, and they're one of the better on-screen duos of the 1980s. The Nazis from the original film are back, and now there's a lot more of them, and we even get to meet Hitler this time around. And his scene is one of the funniest in the entire film. I also noticed that in all three Indiana Jones films, you hear the Wilhelm scream, which is the most famous movie scream of all time. And as a little bonus fact, that scream was recorded by Sheb Wooley, who is famous for his hit song, Purple People Eater. Now, we move a bit back into the supernatural realm in The Last Crusade, like we did in Raiders of the Lost Ark, but it still works perfectly fine. We get some great booby traps like we saw in the opening of the original film. We get some great puzzles that must be solved, some double-crossing, lots of good fights, and over-the-top action, and more humor than the first two films combined. Now, I would never have expected the third film in the series to be the best of the bunch, but in my opinion, it is. Now, you don't need to see the first two films to enjoy this one, but they're all so good, you're going to really be doing yourself a disservice by not watching them all. And we owe a lot to Indiana Jones. Without it, we wouldn't have the National Treasure movies. We wouldn't have Dan Brown's Robert Langdon books, and we wouldn't have one of the best adventure video game series of all time, Uncharted, starring Nathan Drake. Indiana Jones is without a doubt one of the greatest and most iconic movie franchises in movie history. Being tied up with your dad, hanging on to a tank gun, having a conversation with a man who is over 500 years old, Hitler, motorcycles with sidecars, teaching archaeology, using umbrellas on the beach.